Welcome to Parents Make a Difference. Is there ever a time where your child said they wanted to get into a career and you thought, no, no, don't get into that career because you might not find a job in it? Well, you might change your mind after listening to our guest today. Our guest today has a supply of chain partnerships worldwide in regards to fashion. She is a fashion designer and she's also the founder and president of the company called TruCulture and Urban Lux. I'd like you to welcome today our guest, Claudia Tiberio. Welcome, Claudia. It's great to have you here.
Well, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Wow, I mean, the fashion industry is a difficult industry to get in, to crack, and plus you're a woman, so you've got, different obstacles to overcome. We'd love to hear your journey. Tell us, how did you get into thinking? How did you know that you wanted to get into design?
Well, I don't know if I thought I wanted to be in design because I never thought I had any artistic capability, believe it or not. I always, and I really can't say that I have artistic capabilities in that traditional sense. Like I can't draw. Like I'm not a sketcher or a person who draws. My sister has all that talent. She's incredible.
Mm,
However, I have this sense that I like to think or I believe is God given. So it's a talent, right? And I have this ability to be able to see into the future and to kind of know, I just know what's right and what's wrong with regards to fashion. And I've always been involved in fashion since I'm very small. I was a model when I was younger. My grandfather was a uniform manufacturer. I'm the firstborn, so I literally spent days on end, like either after school, or my mom was working and I don't know, the sitter wasn't there. She dropped me off at the factory. And my grandfather, my uncle, they would look after me all day. And I would literally be playing in the bins of cut up fabric. So
hmm
there's layers and layers and layers all stacked together, beautiful colors. And I literally would sit there for hours and just imagine all these things that I can make with it. So it's just, something that I definitely always knew I wanted to be involved in. I wasn't sure in what regard. And much to my father's chagrin, and even my grandfather, like they did not want me in this industry. They wanted me to study to be a lawyer because I had the brains and I had the gift of gab, right? So, so I studied business, like to appease everybody, and just, I mean, I'm very happy that they asked me to do that because we need business, right? Like I think that's why so many people fail in this industry because they just believe that talent, raw pure talent is just going to carry you, and it really doesn't. It's not, it's a business, right? At the core of it all, 1+1 must equal two.
Yes.
So, I guess I'm lucky and gifted in that way that I can do both things, right? So, I can be savvy on the business side. You have to be, and right on trend. So that's what I do. Trend. I'm all about trend.
I love the fact that you have also green practices,
Mm,
ethical and green
yeah.
practices with the company.
Yeah. Again, being someone who's always trying to be at the forefront and cutting edge, it's something that I saw many moons ago, many moons ago, that I knew you had to do something because you can't just keep filling up the landfill. Like, did you ever question yourself, like, where does clothing go to die? Like, where does it go?
Hmm.
Like we just bring bags and bags of clothing to like, we donate it or, people throw stuff in the garbage, but what do you do with it? Like you can't just burn garments. Like it doesn't work that way, especially with all the horrible synthetics that have really entered the market strongly since the 1980s.
hmm
You can't get rid of that. You can't get rid of that. So that's a whole, other argument. Like there's a whole other debate with regards to that, but there is technology to it. And it's come a long, long, long way. So we've actually just started to launch a new label called Refab, so REFAB by TruCulture, and it is 100% recycled and upcycled fabrics, trims, everything. So, and the factory itself is completely green certified. And that's what they basically do. They go around and they buy huge lots of secondhand stuff. People that, either it's sold to them or whatever. And then they take that all apart and they make we design things with regards to, well, there's a very talented designer there, and she'll will conceptualize things, and then she'll have to go and figure it out, like with what she has available to her. So we actually just launched one bag, one tote bag. It's absolutely beautiful. People love it.
Really wonderful.
Yeah,
I've seen your product line, and you do have some very beautiful pieces. Anybody who wants to see the product lines, go to TruCulture.com. True without an E.
that's correct.
True without an E. TruCulture.com. And you'll be able to see the different companies there and the different product lines. You sell to resorts, you sell to a whole bunch of stores worldwide.
Yeah,
And so you've got, I think, three companies there. Am I correct? Three different
brands, yes, three different,
brands, sorry, three different brands. Yes, wonderful.
yeah.
Yes.
So we'll keep chugging along. I love it.
What kind of struggles did you find as you were going through things? I mean, because I want our audience, I want our parents to see that, hey, it's, success is like,
Yeah,
why do some people succeed and some people don't? We want to kind of get into your mind and try to
you should
see.
speak, you should speak to my vice president. I think she has me summed up pretty well. Only because she's known me over 30 years, and she was one of my first customers. We kind of came up in the trade together at the same time. And she always said it's one of my greatest qualities is my tenacity. Like, I'm tenacious, and I don't quit. Like, I don't quit. I just I mean, is there ever really a time where you can say it's time to admit defeat? Is there any time for that? Like, is there? And I say no. Like, I say no. I mean, if it becomes detrimental to your health and to your well-being, then
Mhm.
okay, I get it.
Yes.
Then yeah, you have to kind of walk away and take a break or whatever. But life is just a constantly evolving, thing, and you just never know, right? You never know what can happen. And the other thing is that, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you have to be determined, really, really determined. And you have to push yourself like so hard. And I've worked so hard my whole life, like really, really hard, because that's what it takes. Like, to work any less, people like some people think that, oh, you don't need to work so hard. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. Because it's someone's gonna, whip right by you. Someone's gonna pass you in the passing lane, because there's always someone working harder than you. And especially in this trade, it's so competitive. And timing is absolutely everything. So you can't sit back and just wait for something to come to you. You can't. And though, the older you get, sometimes that's difficult, because you don't have but you have to keep going. You have to keep going.
So what's kind of some of the self-talk you give yourself um, while you're pushing through and being determined? Like, because everybody starts to think, you know, thoughts that probably want to take them down and stop you from moving forward. What do you tell yourself to keep moving forward when it's tough?
First thing I tell myself is to relax and calm down. Like, just stay calm, stay calm, stay calm, and use your mind. Like, remove the emotional factor from the equation. Stay calm and use your mind. I have to be emotional to be able to create things, right? To have my vision. That's the write-off. I say that's the pay. That's the write-off. Because in business, it's not emotion. It's completely in your mind. You can't be emotional making a business decision.
How do you calm yourself down?
Well,
Just by your words?
this is gonna sound a little ridiculous. It's just like people always ask me, how do you, like, I sleep thank God. I think it's one of my superpowers. Actually, it's a superpower. I sleep like a baby every night, all the time, no
Some
matter what.
people will be very envious of you.
Like hard 7 hours without like undisturbed REM sleep. Like, but my whole life. But I learned. I mean, there have been sleepless nights. I've been through a lot of really bad, a lot of stuff that's happened. It's just life, right? And I don't know. I kind of devised the psychological switch in my brain. I just turn it off. Put it on.
And I see
So
you've
it's
got
like,
some of your, is that some of your product line in the back?
yeah, yeah, it is. Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff not here, but these are like all the samples or the pre-production or stuff like that, the production. So whatever.
Right. This is your home office, right? If I'm
Yeah,
correct? Yes.
yeah. So I keep a lot of things here because I don't know, the pandemic kind of changed everything. I was completely panicking when they said we had to like, you can go to the office and do. I mean, I wasn't an essential service. Like, how am I an essential service? Like all the stores are closed, right?
Yeah.
And I literally had to remember in a box, like my desktop. I think in a box, I was sobbing. And you know what? Like it really it calmed me down. And I got used to working from home. So if I can, I do. I love it. Like I never thought I would.
That's good. Good to hear. How did your parents, your father or your mother, influence you in going, well, influence you in achieving, or how did they
Yeah.
encourage you?
I keep saying with my parents, like they went through a really bad divorce when I was like 21, but it was a long time coming. So like that relationship was really like that needed to end probably 5 6 years before. So I was a teenager, and then I have my sister who's 4.5 years younger, and I have my brother who's 7 years. So I was the eldest, and I was. It really caused me that whole divorce thing was really hard because I understood things in a different way than they did.
Yes.
So I mean, the whole financial side of it really it caused me a lot of anxiety and a lot of anxiety because I didn't know what was going to happen, right? And because it was really bad. They were really in a bad way. So the lessons I learned from my parents, I learned them really young. I was really lucky. I was very fortunate. My father, he's a born in Italy, but educated man in Italy. So, when he came, I don't know if that's relevant or not relevant, but he wasn't your typical immigrant when he came here. Okay. And like a generation ahead of his time, a generation ahead of his time. He believes in he believes in equality. There's no gender differentiation in what you can and cannot do. Um, no ceiling. Uh, he never ever prevented us from doing anything if the opposite he encouraged us. Like he's the one who taught me how to ride my motorcycle.
That's right. At what age was that?
19.
19.
Yeah,
Yes.
because he really hated my boyfriend who had a heart in, and they tested me on the back of that bike because he really hated the guy. And he had a lot of again, that was like trailblazing. Like I'm a trailblazer.
Yes.
So I've actually been in a like I've been in the saddle since I'm 19. I still ride today.
That's amazing. And I read also, going a little now more back into the future, that you also do fundraisers for bikers against child abuse.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
not bikers, it's
Yeah.
yeah, bikers against child abuse.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. We've done them. We've done a lot of them, and it's something it's effective. I know a lot of people maybe don't understand it, but it really is effective for those predators. Like the children that they help are deeply, deeply damaged and affected. Like I mean, it's a real last resort. It's really awful what some of these children go through. Terrible. So where we can, we do. Where I can, we do. But it's these causes I've always believed in. So, back to my parents, my mother was also, she was born here. She was third generation here, not so no, she was second generation. second, and I'm third. So she was already, she was a modern woman, right? She wore pants and smoked cigarettes and she was happening, right? She was, dancing the disco. She was very cool. So, we were just raised, and she really also was very smart in how she did it. Like for my sister and myself, she left us all the rope in the world to hang ourselves with. So all the freedom. But she put that responsibility on us. She would say to us, I can try to prevent you from doing all kinds of things by laying down all these laws on you. But at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to look in the mirror and be able to live with whatever it is you have done or you're thinking about doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and you know what? It really worked because every time my sister and I were going to do something that we knew, we'd hear that voice. It would stop us like, oh, she's right. Like, okay, let's move on to something else. So,
Mm-hmm. You shared with me once something about you used to be shy and how you came out of that shyness and how your mother helped you in that sense, or
yeah,
what, want to share that a little bit about that?
yeah, like public speaking, right? Public speaking. Um, mhm. That's what happened. I mean, in competitive speech writing, and they forced me to because I was always a very good writer. I have a great. I just write naturally when it comes to naturally.
Mm-hmm.
They put me in this speech competition, competitive speech writing and speaking, and then I had to like memorize the whole thing, all by memory, not even like cheat cards, nothing, and get up in front of like the whole entire student body and say my speech and deliver my speech. I learned how to do that, how to speak, to really be heard and to focus on certain things so that I wouldn't, it would take away the shyness. But that soon after, like when I came into myself, all that changed, like the shyness kind of went away.
Yes. And your mother was encouraging you to try to get out of your shell in the speaking, in regards to speaking, right?
Yeah, she did. So,
She did.
but again, I think it was just maybe you know, I don't know, you come into yourself at some point, right? Like you
Yes.
just come into yourself. So that's what happened. You find your way. You find your thing that makes you you, right?
But if you never push yourself to do the things that scare you, it's
Oh yeah,
hard to, right?
you'll never get anywhere.
So you were given those opportunities, and I mean, now that you're in this industry, you're always you're out there showing your product line and representing your company
Uh,
and speaking.
that's one of my like the gift of gab. I've got that. I've got that. When
Which
I
is
want
good.
something.
I like that. You're persistent, you're out there, and we all should have that attitude, right? It's like you got to go and don't give up. Don't give up and keep trying. And you get knocked down, you get back up, right? Because that sounds like, I mean, to get to where you are right now, you had to do that.
Oh my God.
You had to do it.
And it wasn't like, let me tell you, it was not easy. It's still not easy. And I'm a pro and it's hard. So there's days we look like my vice president and myself will look at each other. Why are we still doing this? Like we like to torture ourselves. Some days it's like, but we have such an avid passion for it. We love product, and I just love to see how our product can make people feel. Right?
Yeah.
It's about empowering women, right?
Empowering women,
You have to
yes.
lift each other up, and like our whole company motto is all about that. It's about empowering women. There's so much thought that goes into absolutely everything we put out
I love
there.
that.
Every image, everything we do is
Hmm.
all about empowering women, not objectifying them. You know what I mean? Not putting them in a slot or a category. None of that. It's you have to find your own power. We all have it, but you gotta find it. Like just come from your own power. Like you're not that person or that person or that person. And I feel really bad for them. for the young people. We didn't have social media.
Hmm.
I could find social media to give me anxiety at times, and I'm an adult with a really sound mind. And I look at things sometimes, it could get me anxious because it's so ridiculous.
Hmm.
They have all of it.
Yeah, we need to disconnect for a while too, and uh, I like the fact that if we can come together and lift each other up, women, men, whoever, but lift each other up. And that's what you're doing with your industry, with your fashion. I love that you said even time only makes us better, sleeker, and better. Sorry,
Yeah, yeah,
time only makes us better, sleeker, and bolder.
yeah.
I like that because the best is yet to come.
It is.
The best is yet to come if we've got that attitude. Great things are in store. We can see better things with time, right? And the attitude right there.
Right. But life is a process, right? It's a journey. So nothing is just gonna always be roses. Like, how do you grow if everything's always great? You won't. You're gonna
Right.
stagnate. And what happens to things that stagnate? They rot.
Yeah. I love the fact that your father um didn't put didn't make you see gender in a sense. It's like you can do anything you put your mind to. I love the fact that your mother was encouraging you to speak more because that was something that maybe she thought you needed, and that she allowed you to kind of look at your own conscience when looking at something and saying, well, you're going to have to live with any decision because she knew we can't control anyone. We only have control over ourselves, right? And they influenced you in different ways, even though you were going through all of that stuff, maybe when they were going through divorce and all of that. But those are some great things. And now you are a stepmother.
Yeah.
And so how do you take what you've learned in your life?
It was just easy for me to find my path in that because, you know, I'm I had to deal with my father marrying someone that, um, you know, wasn't warm or inclusive whatsoever. So we, myself and my siblings, know what that feels like, right? We just know what it feels like. Now, her reasons for that, I can't really say because you're not in some, and it's not something that I feel compelled to even discuss. So
Yeah,
much
yeah.
time gone
Mhm.
by. Like I just don't even want to talk about it. Like to me, it doesn't matter anymore. What matters to me is my father, who's now going to 87. He's cared for, he's loved, he's happy, he's so good. Um, so for me, I would never do that to someone. I could never treat someone like that. First of all, it's not the child's fault or the other child. I mean, he's not a child, a young adult, but it's not his fault, right? It's not their fault. So they're just also trying to deal with circumstances, right? I mean, they're now there's a whole new environment. So I kind of treat them like I would my nieces and nephews.
Mm-hmm. Like
Someone
an
you can
ant.
talk to, you can confide in. He doesn't have to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. There's rules in the house, obviously, like abide by, but I was also very lucky with really good kids. He was a good guy. He
Mm-hmm.
still raised them really nicely and good values, and you know, which is one of the reasons why I wound up by marrying my husband now. We have the same value system, the same, moral system. Like, we believe in the same thing. So obviously, the result of that is going to make for, a more balanced environment, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's nice. I mean, it's a different thing for me, right? Tonight's a busy 21-year-old, right? So they have these really busy lives and in and out, in and out. It's just great. Like, yeah, live your best life. Because now's the time, right?
And he comes to hang out with you guys. I remember you telling me he has a choice and he does come to stay with you guys because you're creating that. You're creating a home for him there. He feels comfortable coming, and I think that's beautiful. And I think, you saying like being like an aunt to him, that's a great perspective. If you're a stepmother out there, it's like people just want to feel valued and loved. And it sounds like that's what you're giving him so that the environment is a place where he wants to hang out with, hang out in.
Right, and you have to also remember that, he had a whole life before me with his father. So, see, that was one of the things I know that really hurt me so much with my father, is that we were so close, we were so tightly knit, and then this person comes in, and all of a sudden, like, you know what, I have to treat my father like a distant relative.
Mhm.
It was just over. Like, why does it have to be like that? Like, why does it have to be like that? But again, it's coming from a different time, a different era. Like those first divorces, no one really knew anything. Everybody was just
Right.
horrible and mean. All these things are just awful. They were awful.
Well, your experience seems to help you be a better stepmother because of what you went through. Your stepson is blessed to have someone who can relate to the situation and can and understand how you need to feel in that environment. So I think that's been a blessing for him.
And he already has a mother. He said he needs another mother. Like, and you gotta respect that person as well. Like he's
Yeah.
got a mom, like he's got a mom. You don't that's her son. Like I know how I would feel if I had a son and an ex-husband and somebody, marries somebody else and then this woman's trying to be a mother. It's like, you know what I mean? Like it would bother.
Yeah.
Like, it
Sure.
again, maybe it's the age thing also. I mean, he's not a young little child. That would be a different thing, right? But I still think I would have left the parenting to the parent. Like
Hmm.
that's
So
just me. I don't know if that works for everybody, but yeah, you have to kind of lay down you can lay down rules about the house and how things have to go. Yes, because we're sharing, we're a unit, so we're sharing facilities in the house,
yeah.
right? So I don't like dishes in a sink. You don't leave dishes in a sink. Don't do that. Like I don't care who you are. Don't leave dishes in my sink. That's it. This is this one.
I
That's that. Right?
yeah,
So
no,
just,
absolutely.
things like that. So it kind of, yeah, like I'm lucky. I'm also very lucky.
It's amazing um that you're creating a new family and you've had such great success already. I love that, as your parents influenced you in some way, your tenacity, your boldness, your fight to not let things stop you, that attitude brought you forward and has helped you with your success. I hope that the
Confidence,
parents
confidence,
listening
confidence,
are pardon?
confidence, confidence, confidence. You
Often. That's what we
build
have to teach the kids,
your
right? To have that
confidence.
tenacity, to keep going, to keep fighting, to not let things get them down and stop them if they have something in their heart that says, hey, this is the direction I need to go. And for parents who want to tell their kids, you know, want to encourage them to go into a certain direction, if your child doesn't feel that that's right for them, they know better because you want to do something you have passion for, and that's what you did. You did something you have passion for, and that's probably why you succeeded.
That's probably why I'm still doing it. Like but
Love
then
it.
it's my character. Since I could not ever do something I was really so passionate about. I would have been depressed. I would have been a depressed person. It would have depressed me. Like
Yeah.
that, there's no way.
And
Uh-uh.
I think we need to back up our children, even if it's a career that we're like, I don't know if there's jobs in there because they might surprise us, and someone's gotta someone's gotta be successful in that field. Why not our kids, right? Why not you? And you
Right.
did, right? And you did. I am excited for your future. I'm excited.
Thank
I
you.
know the best is yet to come. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing what else you put out there on TruCulture.com.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
And it's been such a pleasure to have you on Parents Make a Difference. I hope parents out there can resonate with some of the things you said. I know I have, and I've learned from you, and I appreciate your time. Thank you, thank you, thank
Oh,
you.
my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. I mean, if anything I've said can help someone, then I'm happy. I really am.
Well, I know you're someone who gives back. You even volunteer some of your time, or you speak at the college LaSalle College in Montreal. You've even done some teaching or some counseling there,
Yeah.
tutoring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing, because you're out there, you're blessed and you're blessing others. As I love what Denzel Washington says, we should all have goals and then reach one and then teach one. turn
Yeah,
back and teach one, right? Bring
one
someone up.
hundred percent, one
And
hundred percent.
you
Yeah,
remind me of that. So thank you. And thank you
thank
for
you.
sharing some of your
My
time with
pleasure.
us.
My pleasure.
Parents, remember, you make a difference.